Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Tottenham on Tour with Cockerel, Doodle. On today's show, we have Fulham, starting 11's predictions, Champions League results, and of course, thanks everyone for giving us coefficient points. Tune in now. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Tottenham on Tour for your world-famous morning news programme and Tottenham show and whatever. We've got Amir and Ash joining us at the moment, but Ian will be joining us. He is late again. When I mean again, I'm just saying again. He's late. He called me yesterday. Ben, I really want to come on Cockle Doodle Doo tomorrow. Blah, 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 blah. And then he's late. Oh. I'm not doing anything anymore. Amir Haki, how are you doing this morning, sir?
I'm doing well, Ben. You know, after that win against Villa, I'm really pumped for Fulham. And yeah, just raring to go. You know, Shabbat's just around the corner. And feeling good coming into this weekend.
Yeah. And Ash from Talk and Ball, how are you doing this afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you? What are you doing? I know it's probably a bit like morning because you had a lion, so it's almost morning.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying my vacation. My vacation started with a 4-0 defeat against Villa. So that's the best possible start to a vacation. I'm still living off that game.
Yeah. Aren't we all? Aren't we all? Let's see who's in the chat this week to take us through the proceedings. We got Mr. Sweden, Tony Rodriguez, YouTube member. Good to see you in here. Good to see you. Sean Slater from the Guardians of the Pombo. Good to see you, YouTube member. I don't know who this guy is. We got Shemtang. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Andrew Gregory, YouTube member. YouTube member. We got Radiated, YouTube member. Good to see you. Good to see you. We have hey, it's the beautiful Ash. So happy to see that smarter. Absolutely. We got Kate saying morning, Ben and panel.
Morning,
we got Colin saying looking good, gang. You look like a rose between two thorns. Everyone's horrible to us, Amir. We might just get off the show.
I love it.
Saying good morning, Ben and panel. Good to see you, Benjamin. Good to see you, John Ellis Hall. Good to see you. And we've got Fran saying morning all. Right, let's talk about it. The English teams did us a real solid yesterday with coefficient points. I read somewhere that because of West Ham's going into the next round of the Europa League, it's almost guaranteed that Tottenham are going to be in the Champions League next year, unless we have some colossal Tottenham up and we don't finish fifth. What do you think about this, Amir? It's really fun, isn't it? These coefficient points, and everyone's doing us a favour for a change.
Yeah, results are going our way. It's actually something that I could see coming because I just think that the English teams in Europe are very, very strong in regards to what we've got on the continent at the moment. And I do think, you know, possibly we could have winners in 2 out of the 3 European competitions. So it'd be very interesting to see how we go. The only thing I have with the coefficient and it being going down to 5th place, obviously it's fantastic for the English clubs and for anyone, you know, getting that slot. My only issue with it is, are you diminishing the competition by letting so many teams in? You know, it used to be just the winners of the league, and now we're going down all the way to 5th. So that's my only thing with it.
It was what I was discussing with David on Morning Brews a couple of weeks ago. They're so desperate to make the UEFA Super League.
Yeah,
they're putting it. I've got this theory that either one of the Premier League or UEFA is going to make the Super League, and they're going to start putting teams from all over the world in one league and make the Super League. That's why UEFA are trying to get as many teams as physically possible to say it's fair play to get into. It's by meritocracy when it's not. They're just choosing which leagues they like the most, and then say, "Oh, you can have an extra team as well."
But wait, do you mean like expanding it to the whole world, like even adding in American teams?
Just UEFA.
Okay.
It seems like, even though they say it's meritocracy, it's not really meritocracy because they say, "Oh, We want to make sure that Manchester United, because they've got really good coefficient points and they have loads of things, we want them in the Champions League. So just get in there slowly. You can't finish fourth, so we'll put you in anyway. What do you think about that, Ash? Is it me being pessimistic, or is just reality?
No, it is the reality. Money makes football, and teams like Manchester United, because they have such huge fan bases across the world, you want them to be in the Champions League irrespective of merit, just simply because of eyeballs. So the Champions League is no longer about champions, battling it out in a league, but rather about who has the most money and the most fans, and so who gets the most eyeballs. So, like Ajax may not be able to get the same sorts of eyeballs that a Manchester United would, or any other club from like Europe who's not in the top, say 3 or 4 leagues, probably wouldn't get as many eyeballs, but they might actually be a better team than Manchester United is right now. But that makes no difference. Simply you can't let them go out, and that's why the fifth spot is there. Because now that you see Chelsea and United and teams like that struggle, you still want them to have the chance of making it, and they might make it. They're not that far off. It looks a little unlikely, but if they make a final push for it this time of the season, they could make it. So their logic is kind of paying out as well. So um, it strikes me as a dilution in general, because the point of the Champions League is that you have these giant teams battling it out, like the Real Madrid, the Barcelonas, and that's sort of like diluted. And on the other hand, all of these teams that are supposedly good, they kind of get in the round of 16 or in the group stage, they get out anyway. So all you're doing is getting their eyeballs, getting their fans onto the tournament, and then letting the teams go. And so it makes no sense in terms of the competition itself.
Yeah. Morning, Ian. Morning. Fashionably late. Oh, I can hear myself, Ian. I can hear myself in your camera. Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine. What's your view on the new format for the Champions League and them subsequently putting in slow bits of not meritocracy? Oh, here's fifth spot. You can have it, Man United, just so you get in.
It's just watering down the competition, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all it's doing. It's just making it. You're going to have probably less decent games.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's a shame because the Champions League is only going to. So I've got a camera issue here with.
You got camera issues.
Don't worry. No. It's just how it's balanced. You've got the quarterfinals of the Champions League now, where you've got some really exciting games coming up.
Yeah.
But up to now, it's been pretty average, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I would go further than that, Ian. I would say it's become so predictable. And the fact that they've changed this format now and they've added games, I really don't like what they've done with it. And personally, I'd go back to how it was at the beginning and just a knockout tournament. I think that's the most exciting.
Well, I think for the last 16, 10 of the last 10 or 12 of the last 16, the coefficient was the highest out of all the clubs. So it's the rich get richer, the divide gets greater. Unfortunately,
absolutely.
But that's what they want, and that's what they're doing. UEFA are doing everything they can to avoid a Super League starting.
Before we go on to Tottenham Fulham, we're going to go around the houses and say yes or no. One answer. Do you think UEFA are trying to take on the Premier League eventually and build their own league? Amir?
Yes.
Ian, yes or no question to that?
I think their version of a Super League with higher financial receipts coming in will act as a sop to the clubs that are not happy with the money, with the riches that the Premier League raises for the clubs. And I think that they will be happy with a midweek league. I don't think they're looking to go up against a domestic league, to be honest.
What if that becomes the domestic league and there's no longer a domestic league anymore?
It won't become domestic league because the European Cup, Champions League, etc., has always been midweek.
But what if they change that and make it weekend?
They won't change it. I don't see them changing it.
You never know. Money makes you change.
Well,
What do you think?
It'll destroy every pyramid in every country.
Yeah, that's what UEFA want to do. That's what UEFA are doing.
Yeah, they consolidate their power that way, Ian. All the big clubs, they consolidate the power if they do.
I don't see the big clubs won't want that because it's two streams of two revenue streams. Why are they going to lose one revenue stream for nothing?
Because the bigger revenue stream will be better than the other revenue stream.
But it won't,
because
will
they
it?
can create, Ian, because they can create a monopoly, right? And once they have a monopoly and all of the football fans in the world, they have their eyeballs, then they don't require two revenue streams because they can just expand on one and focus on one.
But the reason why the Super League failed last time primarily was because there was no relegation.
Yeah.
So, if you're in a situation where you've got relegation and you've killed the domestic league, where do the clubs go then?
I mean, that's the Super League format, right? Like if you look at that, that gold, silver, platinum, I forgot the colors.
Yeah,
that's their new format, and supposedly they're saying that they'll draw from the local leagues and add to that. So every domestic league will just become like a bottom tier in that format.
Firstly, the say the Big Six. Let's go back to the Super League a few years ago. The Big Six, say one of them gets relegated. The Premier League, what's left of it, won't be allowing any of the Big Six to come in. So where do they go?
They build their own league.
It won't happen. It won't happen. I'm telling you.
Ian, I really hope you're right, mate. I really, really hope you're right. I feel like the powers that be are scheming.
To make a midweek European Super League, Champions League, whatever you want to call it, to raise money so that the continental clubs, the other European clubs, can get to somewhere near the riches that the Premier League is bringing. I can't see it destroying the domestic leagues. I think there's too much history and tradition across the board.
This has got international reserves saying the Super League will become more powerful than local leagues. That is unstoppable. The game is now totally global. One of the things I've always said, the powers that be want Manchester United versus Real Madrid in California. Mm-hmm. They then want Arsenal versus Juventus in Paris. Then they want to globalize football. This is the plan. This is why we're now having games like the Spanish Super Cup is always in Arabia somewhere.
Yeah,
we've got Serie A's going to have the Super Cup somewhere. This is what they're trying to do.
Yeah, but the difference though, Ben, is that whereas something like the NFL you can franchise and teams are franchised, football's tribal here. Yeah. Completely different.
I hope so. Now that we've had that sweetener, let's go into the Tottenham Fulham game. We've got quite a bit to talk about in terms of thingy-majigs and stuff and things. The usual stuff. Amir, what do you think about the Fulham game at the weekend?
I think it's going to be a lot trickier than what fans think.
Tottenham fans underestimating teams again?
Never.
No. Never.
Yeah, it's one of these ones. We're coming in off a big win, off a milestone win, I'd say, against Villa, and a clean sheet. So we're going to be coming in confident. It's just we can't let that overconfidence get to us. There's a job to be done down at Craven Cottage. The pitch is small as well, which will suit.
Freezing cold as well.
Freezing cold. It will suit Fulham. So we really, really need to be on our game. And we were saying just off stream, I think if we're clinical, we get over the line and we bring home the 3 points. If we're dilly-dallying around and doing some of this horseshoe football and not shooting enough and not peppering the goal enough, then it could be a very tricky afternoon. So yeah, it'll be a tough game, and I do think we'll just get over the line. But I can't see it being like a Fulham 4 or 5, that kind of thing. I can see it being like a 3-1 or 2-1, something like that.
What's your thoughts on the Fulham game, Ian? Are you there?
I think I fully agree with the score lines with Ash. Totally. I think we'll win it. It's never easy at Fulham, but we'll win it. Spurs are on a roll, hopefully, and providing that we stay injury-free and suspension-free.
Yeah.
there's no reason why we can't win tomorrow, beat Luton, and then go to West Ham in good form. And let's face it, last night everybody was raving about West Ham, but it was individual moments of brilliance.
Yeah.
It wasn't a team effort like Spurs was last week in Birmingham.
This is what we need West Ham to. We need West Ham to win the Europa League, so we get an extra Champions League spot. We then get 150 million, and then spend 150 million on Jared Bowen. That's what we need to do. No, without West Ham winning the Europa League, I do not want anywhere near West Ham near the Champions League. But get us into the Champions League, West Ham. Get us a load of money, and then we can buy Jared Bowen.
Well, they can do their bit Sunday, Ben, because they're home to Villa.
Ooh.
West Ham. So
draw FC. Ash, what's your view on the Fulham game? Are we being overestimating again?
Yeah, I think so. I know Fulham's a funny team. Like they may not have like superstars, but as a team they play well together. Like they're very well drilled, they're very well organized. And I if you watch their previous game against Wolves, who we know are a good team, Wolves, but they were in it for like the most of the game. They were in it. It was a very close victory for Wolves. So I think that, and the way they play suits them against us. Like it's the kind of game that we would find harder to beat. And I know that the 4-0 against Villa was a great result, but I do think that it's sort of making Spurs fans slightly overconfident, because Fulham don't play the same way as Villa. I know Villa changed that formation, but that's not the way they're drilled to play generally. Whereas with Fulham, that's the way they play generally. And in the first half, if you see, even without Villa being practiced at that, they were decent at doing that game plan. So I do think that it's gonna be harder than we think it is.
Paddy has just come up with the most Spurs comment I've ever heard in my entire life. Amir is right. This game won't be easy. I think we'll win, but it's not as easy as many fans think. 10-0 Spurs. Typical.
Come on.
10-0. Spurs, yeah, absolutely. It's standard. Get to a run of form, international break, lose all momentum. Typical Tottenham. Fifth is pretty much secured for CL now. Couldn't care about CL. I want trophies. Yeah, our owner doesn't want trophies though, Paddy. That is the problem. He doesn't like trophies, because winning the FA Cup gives you like 3 million quid. But getting 5th place this year is going to give you 150 million quid, whatever the Champions League money is for. We are run like an economics division at a university. More money. Give me the money.
It's run like an accountancy. It's you can't run it like a fan. There's got to be a balance, and there never has been.
No,
never has been. Providing Enoch can make more profit. I mean, they made more profit than any other club in the Premier League since they took over.
Yep.
So for them, they're champions.
And in terms of their investment, right, Ian, haven't they done the best out of?
Well, they've invested 220 million. They'll probably get 4 billion. You work it out.
Yeah. Joris is saying this game is a typical banana skin. Losing to Burnley after beating Man City comes to mind. Absolutely.
Joris, don't mention those kind of things, Joris.
Absolutely, that's how. Absolutely. Dr. Tottenham will see you now.
We're going to win tomorrow. We will win tomorrow. They're playing well. They're playing well.
Good to see you, Tequila. Good to see her. Good to see her. It's so funny because Fulham are. I love Craven Cottage. We usually have a good record against Fulham at Craven Cottage, so I'm less worried in terms of the ground. But it's a weird one. Marco Silva I'm still surprised that Marco Silva is the Fulham manager, to be honest, because usually he's a total mercenary, and as soon as another club comes in for him, he leaves. So I'm actually surprised he's still there. But I don't know. Does anyone watch Fulham? I haven't watched Fulham all season. What type, except for when Tottenham played them at home? What style of Fulham style be good for us to play against? We'll start with Ash and go back around again. What's your thoughts?
So obviously they play they play 4 at the back. So it's not like a very traditional like 5 at the back where they're always defending, but it is a mid block, so to speak, because they do play counter attacking football most of the time. I mean, that's what I've gotten. I'm not exactly somebody who's watched Fulham every game in game out either, but whatever games of theirs I do catch, that seems to be the way they play. And uh, they do have problems with goal scoring, but haven't let it, like they've only written like some, I think they're in the top 3 or top 4 in terms of defense. Like they've let in a very little few number of goals. I don't remember what the last count was, but it's like a ridiculously low number. It's up there with some of the best teams in the league. So on their defensive record alone, I think that they're a scary team.
What's your thoughts on the way Fulham play in? Have you watched any of Fulham this year?
I just highlights, to be honest, on Match of the Day, and they like to play attacking football. Going to be interesting to see how they play against our high line.
Yeah.
I think there'll be goals. I do think there'll be goals. And I think, Johnson and Werner are playing well.
Yeah.
I think there'll be goals. I genuinely think we'll win. I've got a good feeling about tomorrow.
I never have a good feeling about Tottenham. It's called pessimism. We've been doing it for thousands of years, boys. We've been doing it for thousands of years. Amir, what's your thoughts on the Fulham game? Have you watched any of Fulham this year?
Yeah, like the others, I've seen them in bits and spurts.
Yeah.
Seen highlights. I think they're a decent side. They move the ball quite well. They like to get down the wings. They've got some pace in the team. They also have an ex-Spurs man, if I believe that's right. Vinicius is there, so let's not let him get revenge on us or anything like that. And I agree with Ian. I think there will be goals in it. I just really, really am hoping that we focus on our game, like what Decky was saying about Ange, that we stick to our philosophy. I think that if we get going, it doesn't really matter what the other team, whether they're playing a low block, mid block. We just need to unlock them. So I'm thinking that if we can get a little early goal, it will settle the nerves, and then we can really kick on. Because it seems like to me, whenever we get a goal ahead or 2-goal lead, then we really start to kick on the style, and we start to play with freedom and real cutting edge. So I'm hoping that'll be the case. Early goal, and we really start playing that. And
you forgot that one guy that plays for them that always plays well against us.
Oh no,
Benjamin Potter, that scumbag Willian.
Oh no,
He's there, and he's playing. Oh, has he got a Galatasaray? Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, he was on the bench in the Wolves game.
Was he? Oh no, Vinicius went to Turkey. It's Willian that's I retract it. Yes, so Willian is still there. He's
but he's really old now. He doesn't play, like he doesn't start. He comes on sometimes on the bench.
He will turn up like a prized gazelle in season. He's gonna be there. Pessimism. It's there. Anyway, what way do you think Andrew will set up for this game? Will we stick to the same formation we played against Villa with Johnson playing? Because I was very impressed with Brennan Johnson at the weekend against Villa. He started to listen to his boy the Cough. Take on your man, be aggressive, put balls in the box. That's all he needs to do, and he started doing it.
He's found his confidence, Ben. He's found his confidence, and he's really understanding the role that he needs to do. The finish as well against Villa was fantastic. So I think he will stick with the same team. Obviously with VDV coming in, that's just a straight swap for Dragusin.
Yeah.
But I think he'll stick with Johnson and Kulu. I think Kulu's work as well against Villa went very, under the radar. He was involved in a lot of what we were doing. And I think he'll keep his place as well, and then keep obviously Werner on the dance floor for if we need 60th, 70th minute, bit more pace.
Yeah, bit more pace. What's your thoughts on the starting 11, Ian? Do you think he will keep it the same, or do you reckon he'll make a few changes?
No, just the enforced change with Dragusin.
Yeah,
and that will be it. Why change? You know, you won 4-0. Why would you change it?
This is Tottenham in. Play Emerson Royale up front. Play him up front because why not?
No. I think even Ange realises Emerson's limitations now.
Ash, what's your thoughts on the starting 11 in the game? What do you think? What do you think he's going to do? Would he keep it the same?
Yeah, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, like I do think that Ange will probably play the same 11, and I genuinely believe, apart from of course the forced change from Dragusin, as Ian said, that this is our strongest 11. Like at this point, it might change if Bentancur comes back into form, but at this point of time, this is our strongest 11 in my opinion.
Tequila is saying, I hate will.i.am. Well, it's not going to be the time of your life this weekend, is it, mate?
Yeah.
That's a Black Eyed Peas joke for anyone that doesn't know. We got Benjamin.
Shut up.
Benjamin is saying, I'm clearly up to date on Fulham's team. Yeah, clearly. Cheers, Benjamin. Vinicius went to our feeder club in Turkey. Yeah, apparently so. Tequila is saying, wonder if the cough is going to go heel like the Rock. Maybe. You never know. Hollywood cough. Maybe. Yeah. We will be talking about this man later today, just as a quick plug for the channel. On 8 o'clock tonight, we will be doing our first ever player focus. And we're going to be talking about Dejan Kulusevski's interview at 8 o'clock. And yeah, we're going to have a few people jump in the show from Tottenham on tour. And we're going to have a good fight. And it's going to be a laugh. This is a guy that we are going to be worried about, isn't it, Amir? Joao Paulinho. This is a guy that's really going to be the main focus of the game, isn't it, for Fulham?
Yeah, he's key for them. He's really key for them in breaking everything down. I just think we'll have a lot more in that midfield. You know, when you're looking at Bissouma and Sarr together, I think, you know, the amount of energy and legs that you've got in there and breaking up the play, I think we can win that midfield battle. But yeah, it's going to be key. It's going to be key. And Paulinho is a great player. He's even someone that, you know, last season I had a look at, and I even thought he might suit coming to Spurs, to be honest with you. So yeah, that's going to be a key battle on the pitch for sure.
I mean, sorry, Ellie, but I was desperate to do a Højbjerg Paulinho swap. Give them 50 million plus Højbjerg for Paulinho. That would have been an absolute bish bash bosh deal for me. That would have been an incredible deal. How important is this man to the game, Ian? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, they normally matches are won and lost in midfield. So Bissouma's run into form. Sarr's everywhere. Great legs. Yeah. Great engine. Terrific. You know, he gets about the pitch brilliantly now, and we need that energy with Sarr, and you know he could be the difference. You know, Bissouma and Paulinho cancel each other out. Terrific.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Joao Paulinho in this game, Ash? Are you worried about him? Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've wanted him at Spurs for really long, and so I really think that he's perhaps one of the most important players we have to worry about, especially because we have to win the way we play. We have to win the midfield battle. In all the games that we've lost, we've had difficulties doing that, winning the second ball and these sort of things. And but I will say I don't know why. But Paulinho didn't start the previous game. I don't think he's injured, but for some reason he was dropped. So I don't know if, I don't follow Fulham enough to know whether his performances have dropped or if there's some sort of form problem. But he's not been playing. He's not been starting.
No, I hope he doesn't start
Hopefully
tomorrow.
He doesn't play at all at the weekend because I think he's a fantastic player.
No, he played at Wolves last week.
He came on as a sub, from what I remember.
I mean, did he? I don't know. But
yeah, he came on as a sub.
Tottenham actually, for a change, only have 2 injuries. We have injuries to Richarlison and, of course, Mickey van der Ven, who I don't know what Mickey van der Ven's injury was because they still haven't told us what it is. Was it a hamstring injury? I've absolutely no idea. We're starting to look like we're getting most of our team back in here. Is that a is that a good omen for the rest of the season that we've only got few injuries? Do you think Richarlison will be involved in the starting 11? Not the starting 11, but in the squad? And yeah.
Well, in terms of Richie, I don't think he'll be in the squad. I think he's still a little bit away. They might just give him the international break to get right as rain. With all the players coming back and we filling out that squad, it's fantastic for us coming into the end of the season. With the players that we've brought in as well, there's quality there. If God forbid someone else comes down with an injury, my only player that I am worried about is Solomon, because we've known he's had quite a few setbacks, and I don't quite know where he's at the moment.
Yeah.
So for him, that's really, really sad. And for me personally, obviously, I want the kid to do really well with us. And it's just 2 seasons in a row that he's had really big injuries. And at a young age like that, can be very difficult. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, in general, I think with all the injuries that we had mid-season, to start having a full squad is only going to scare other teams. When I looked at that bench against Villa, I just thought, you know what? We've got enough to just, even if we're not at the races, to put on a few players and change the game and get the 3 points. So I'm liking what Ange is building. And obviously, he's got the summer window to add to it. Be very, very interesting to see how the squad looks like come mid-August. Very interesting.
What's your thoughts on the injuries at the moment, Ian? We're starting to look like we've got a decent squad again, don't we? To go into it, has it come at the right time to have most of our players back?
Let's not talk too soon. Let's not bucket Ben. We've only got 3 missing. We've got Mickey, Sess, and Solomon missing. That's it.
Yeah.
The rest of the squad's fit.
So is Richarlison fit for the game at the weekend?
Well, I think he'll be on the bench. Can see him being on the bench.
What's your thoughts on the injury situation, Ash? Are you confident going into the rest of the season with the amount of injuries we've got at the moment?
Yeah, I feel like everyone's come back in time for like a final. Is that my audio?
No, I think it's Ian. Ian's getting what's it called?
Well, I'm just gonna continue talking, and everyone can hear 2 Ashes. It'll be fun.
I can't hear 2 Ashes at the moment.
Yeah, I can hear you all right, Ash.
Yeah.
Oh, great. So, like I was saying, everyone sort of come back in time for like a final run, which is great for us, especially considering we're going for that top 4 spot. I will say this. I don't know, dare I say it, and I don't want to jinx it, but now that everyone is back, apart from our fullbacks, it almost feels like we have depth. I
oh God, no! Tottenham and depth don't go into in the same sentence.
But like in the Villa game, like we were bringing on Werner, we were bringing on Bentancur. That's real quality to bring on, from the bench. So it there, and Dragusin, of course. So like it almost feels like we have depth, and I don't know how to deal with that as a Spurs fan.
I almost thought you were going to go full Jimbo for a second and say we're going to win the last 13 games, we're going to win the league. Come on! I thought you were going to go that like your your parody dad.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go full Jim for a second, but it's really nice to have a good squad, isn't it, Amir?
It's lovely. It's a real different feeling to how we were in the mid-season, where you saw that bench and you just thought there's not a lot there that can impact the game. So yeah, I'm loving having the players back. With regards to not jinxing any more injuries and stuff like that, I think it's a matter of luck sometimes. At the end of the day, some of these injuries, they can just be really freak. So I do think we just we have to have a bit of luck. In sport, people don't sometimes attribute luck to things, but sometimes you need things going your way. And I think if we do stay injury free to the end of the season, we can have a really good run in. I'm not going full.
You're not going full Jimbo?
No, not full Jimbo. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. Let's talk after the derby. We'll see where we're at.
Oh, Colin is in Jimbo's bad books. He's in Jimbo's bad books. We won't win the league, but we will have a say who wins in it. 100%. Yeah, the say is looking at the mirror and say, we're winning the league, sunshine.
That's fair comment by Colin.
Yeah.
Remember, you look at the fixtures that we've got. You've got Fulham, Luton, West Ham, Forest. So you put those in a group. You've got 4 there.
Yeah.
Then you've got 5, probably. You've got Newcastle, City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, before you finish off with Burnley and Sheffield United. So we've really, in order to give ourselves a buffer, we've got to win these 4 games or at least get 10 points. So,
and it puts us in good stead for the North London derby, doesn't it, Ian, to win these games?
That's a long way off, Ben. We're a long way off that. Where are we? 4, 5, 7. I think we're 6 games off that.
Yeah.
Let's not worry about the North London derby at the moment.
I'm always worried about the North London derby. That is the prerogative as a Tottenham fan. I'm always worried about it.
It's watching Arsenal matches is horrible because you sit there, with your heart's in your mouth the whole game. It's like you can't relax. You're on edge the whole game, and I'll deal with that the week before. We may even have Chelsea or Man City on the Wednesday before.
Oh, for God's sake. So, God's sake. The week from hell.
Well, if City win tomorrow against Newcastle, they're in the semis, which means their game with us the weekend of the 20th of April is cancelled.
Let's look through the fixtures in the Premier League and discuss. Actually, we'll have Ash one more time. Can't remember. What do you think we can put a run together, Ash, for these next 4 games and piggybacking on what Ian said? Can we get through these next 4 games and really start putting a run together?
I mean, it all depends on when that Chelsea game gets scheduled. Because if that's in the middle, that, I always feel like that's when, so that's the watermark of when we either do start doing well or start doing really badly. So it all depends on when that Chelsea game gets scheduled. And I also feel like we have to go on a run because we cannot afford to leave those points for those big games. It puts a lot of pressure on those big games. I do agree. We do get to decide the league. There are other teams that face these 3 teams. Aston Villa still has to play Liverpool, City, and Arsenal as well. But the thing is, the difference is that our record against the top 3 teams has been amazing this season. I don't think that we have lost to any of these 2 teams. We've drawn against City and Arsenal, and we've beaten Liverpool. So definitely we'll have a say because we will take points off at least one of them.
That's a great point from Colin. Our next 3 games are in London. That is massive, isn't it?
Huge.
Even though we don't actually necessarily have great records in London derbies, but that's really good for us to really keep energy high.
4 games. 4 games. We've got Forest at home after.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
No, that's a really good thing, isn't it, Amir?
People don't take that into account, but all the travel and stuff like that, it can really take it out of the players. So the longer they have to rest, the less likely they are to get injured, the more likely they're going to come in and, just hit the ground running and going to be on it the way we were against Villa. And I think that's going to be really, really positive for us, having 4 games, in London, not having to go anywhere. It's just about, I think, I'm with Ian, you've got to not look at Arsenal ahead. You've got to take it game by game now. We're in a great position in Andrew's first season. And I just think that, we focus on ourselves, we focus on our football, the way we want to play. And if we do, start putting together a little run, then who knows, maybe this whole business of 4th, I think we should be aiming a little bit higher than that. So let's see.
He's going full Jimbo.
Let's see. No, I didn't say win the whole thing.
He's doing it. He's doing Jimbo.
Amir, you've been watching the other 3 teams in the last few weeks.
I have.
So they're on a different level to us.
Yeah. what's your thoughts on the travel situation in? That's a really big thing for us, isn't it? All the games are in.
It's pretty good. Yeah. It's okay. At the end of the day, it's the luxury that these footballers travel in, go by flight, by plane, by coach, whatever. They're fully tuned athletes. To me, it's a marginal help. It's a marginal gain, but it's a gain nonetheless.
It's a gain.
Amir, we are nowhere near the top three.
No, I hear that, Ian, but I just think that you have to be looking up that way. You can't be looking down. You got to be looking up.
Down. Who's looking down? At the moment, we're fifth. Let's look up to fourth.
Yeah.
No problem. Aim high. If you aim high, even in failure, is an echo of glory.
Exactly.
The other teams are going to lose 3 games in the last 10.
Arsenal might. Yeah, Arsenal might. I don't think they're as good as everyone's making them out to be, Ian. Honestly, I think they've got so many lucky decisions. Yeah, refs going with them. Havertz shouldn't have been on the pitch. They shouldn't have won that game. They've been getting lucky all season. Late goals against Luton. I don't think they're as good as everyone's making out. And honestly, all the worry about them, I know they're going to bottle it. They're not winning anything this season. The higher they climb, the harder they're going to fall. So, yeah, I'm not worried about them. But, yeah, with Liverpool and City, I agree with you. They are on another level.
Ash, what's your thoughts on the geographical side of football? This is really good for us, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, even if you travel in luxury, it is still time that's eaten up, and it's still, that's something, it's still somewhere you have to go, something you have to do. And just, it can, like, mentally also, it can be a drain sometimes. So I do feel like it does make a marginal difference. And regarding the Arsenal thing, I do think that with Arsenal, Amir is right. The Brentford game, for example, it was really, really close. But at the same time, while Arsenal, I don't think are going to win the league, they are definitely better than us. So I think that they will be third. I don't think third is up for grabs, simply because they're not better than us because they're better than us, but because they've progressed more as a team, because they've had a 5-year project now. So I think maybe 2 or 3 years down the line, we'd probably be better than them if we went in the right direction. But right now, it's hard to say that we'd be up for third.
Tequila is saying in the chat, less time for players to listen to podcasts. You better be listening to Tottenham on Tour, boys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you're liking the stream, boys. Especially you, Pape Sarr. God.
Come on, Starboy. Come on.
Starboy. He definitely.
Come on.
No wonder he's so bloody good. Brennan Johnson's clearly listened to me. That's why he started doing the right things. Yes. Tottenham on Tour. Helping your team. Absolutely. I don't want to even think about that, Benjamin. That's a horrible feeling. Arsenal are the media darlings who'll get the decisions in favour of them for the season. You never know. Maybe it's just coincidence they're getting it. Sean is saying, agree with Amir. Always hit the bottle. They ain't winning nothing. Ugh.
Exactly, Shawnee.
Top 2 next season. I wouldn't go that far. Liverpool and City.
Why not? That's top 2 next season. Why not? Like, we can, if we strengthen, we have 2 or 3 people, join the team who make the team better. I don't see why not.
I must start in relation to Paddy's text that's just up there. We've spent 500 million just under since Oratici came, so they're not 700 million ahead of us.
Yeah, that's also true. Bloody hellfire!
They've bought 19 players since Oratici came in.
Yeah. Yeah, Ben being, it's my job to be Eeyore. I'm the host. Can't have all these pink and fluffy stuff, Kate. You know me. I've got to be Eeyore. But let's look at the fixtures of the weekend and see where it affects Tottenham in the table. Let's have a look. There aren't many games at the weekend because there's FA Cup, isn't there? There's FA Cup this weekend. Yeah. So you've got Burnley versus Brentford. Boring. You've got Luton versus Forest, boring. Fulham versus Tottenham, yay. And West Ham versus Aston Villa is the difficult one, isn't it? That is a big game. That is a full-blown 6-pointer in the Premier League season. What's your thoughts on that game, Ash?
Sorry, I tuned out for a second. West Ham versus who?
Aston Villa.
Oh yeah, that is a huge game. I think that West Ham, the way they're playing currently, they probably not stand a chance simply because. But Aston Villa have a few injuries. I think Ollie Watkins went off injured yesterday, so we'd have to see. It could be a close game simply because of Villa's injuries.
Ian, what's your thoughts on the West Ham Villa game?
I think it'd be a draw.
Yeah,
it'd be a 2-2 draw. Watkins is doubtful, went off injured with a knee injury yesterday, contact injury. So let's hope he's out for a few weeks.
Yeah. And the vacuum is proving the point. The vacuum is corroborating the statement. Amir, what's your thoughts on the Villa West Ham game?
I reckon West Ham will nick it, to be honest with you. I can see them nicking it. They're on decent form. If Watkins is out, he's one of their main threats. So yeah, West Ham might just nick it. Be good for us.
Is this the comment you were talking about? If Arsenal win the league, I've got a few short stays in the Falkland Islands. There's loads of penguins as well. Loads of penguins.
I'll be coming with you, International Observer.
It won't happen. It won't.
Let's all go to the Falklands.
Yeah, it's cool there. They've got loads of penguins. We like penguins. Yeah. Tottenham on tour is a big fan of penguins. The talk of the word Arsenal in general gives me a headache. Correct. West Ham get a minimum of a point in that game. It's an interesting one. That is a really big game. That is a really big, loving the positivity. Big up, Keeves. Big up. Good to see Estelle. Hopefully you're good. It's Iggy. Good to see you. Buongiorno, amico. Come va? Good to see you. We have Sean saying, I think we might be shattered. We might have shattered Villa's confidence at West Ham. Yes.
Did you see the result last night, Sean?
Did all right, yeah.
What was the score last night?
They smacked Ajax 4-0.
4, yeah.
We don't do Thursday nights at Tottenham. We don't do Thursday nights. Only Tuesdays and Wednesdays only. But Ajax, they're not great anymore.
Right.
Cuba saying he's super enthusiastic about his our running. I genuinely believe we're going to be hitting and smashing most teams. We've got.
Come on, Cooves.
We've got Cooves going full Jimbo. We've got Jimbo going Jimbo. We've got Amir going full. Everyone's Jimbo today.
No, Cooves has always been Cooves. Cooves is the OG optimist. So, I mean,
who's the more positive one? Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Got 10 minutes to the end of the show. So if there is anyone in the comments that has any questions for anyone on the panel, feel free to send them in now. But what's your thoughts for the entire weekend, Amir? It's looking good, isn't it? It's looking good.
Yeah, it is. It is looking good, Ben. And I just think that if we do start building a little run together, we do build a little, we get ahead of ourselves a bit and build up that winning streak. Who's to say that we can't win those next 4 games? They're going to be tough. They're going to be very, very tough, right? All these teams are battling for position, jostling for where they're going to finish. And even, a game like Luton, that actually worries me more than a Forest. Luton are battling for their lives. And they actually play some decent football. They lost, obviously, they messed things up against Bournemouth, but they're really in the scrap. So I just hope that we get the job done down at Craven Cottage and we just build off it. Yeah, we just focus on ourselves as well. I don't like the whole, looking at what that one does and that one. I don't care what they do. I want to focus on us. Don't care what anyone else is doing.
I think, Ian, are you the guy with the vacuum? I'm going to mute you. Actually, no, it's your comment. So, what's your thoughts on the weekend as a whole?
The weekend as a whole. Can I just switch the subject slightly, Ben?
Yes.
Interesting, the tweet that the Trust put out, and also going to the Premier League regarding senior citizens.
Oh, I saw that. You can bring that up. You can bring that up in time.
What was that, Ian? I didn't see that.
I think well, Levy has hit an all-time low by stopping senior citizen new senior citizen concessions from next season, and also on existing ones, taking them down over 5 years from 50 to 25%. So, for the money it's going to save, plus the 6%, I think it's appalling. It's just appalling.
With the magic of StreamYard, I can actually bring that letter up.
No.
So here it is. If it will let me bring up Stream, there we go. Dear Masters, if like us, the Premier League believes football is indeed nothing without its fans, we urge you to contact the current owners of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club to remind them of this. Last week, Tottenham Hotspur announced that season tickets for 24-25 will increase by 6%, a step too far for many football supporters dealing with the cost of living. But to make matters worse, much worse in fact, they decided to completely renew new senior concessions from 25-26. They also chose to eventually have half the discount for current senior citizens ticket holders who qualify for the concession that remains. Note that the word they chose to do this. As one of the richest and most profitable football clubs in the world, there was surely another way to raise a relevantly small sum of between 3 and 4 million. We remain disappointed the club rejected our calls to freeze ticket prices or improve the current concessions offered to senior citizens. The fact that 30, 40, 50 years of loyalty or sport will now never be able to buy a season to get a senior concession rate is disgraceful and unacceptable. The decision must be reversed. As the independent, democratically elected voice of Tottenham Hotspur supporters, we call on you to join us in asking the club to rethink these shocking proposals. We also believe that Tottenham Hotspur should commit to comply with Premier League rules that require it to offer senior concessions. We ask you to insist they do. It's never too late to do the right thing. These changes must be stopped. THSC board. Amir, what's your thoughts on it, buddy?
Agree. Change it straight away. Reverse the decision. It's scandalous, really. Scandalous what they've done. And this is the issue with, capitalism on steroids, right? It's all about its profit over people. And for me, Tottenham is about people. It's not about money. It's not, the fun of going down to the game and having a chat about the football and, being all together in unison, cheering your team on. It's got nothing to do with profit margins or revenue streams or whatever. So honestly, the people at the top that have come up with this scheme, look yourselves hard in the mirror and think about what you're doing to people that have put in their life, blood and soul to this club. That's how I feel about it.
What's your view on this, Ash?
The thing is, having studied a little bit of economics, I would say that a lot of people who are saying that it's it's because of inflation and it's inevitable, these sort of arguments are a bit disingenuous in my opinion, especially because what happens with inflation is if real wages don't keep in track with inflation, then really there's like the prices of things are going up, but your wages, the companies that are earning that money are not distributing that in terms of wages. So what's happening here, especially with seniors, is that seniors generally live off pensions or they're living off their savings. So their real wages are definitely not going up. And so by saying that it's because of inflation that we're raising the ticket prices and taking away senior concessions, that's a very disingenuous argument because your profits have gone up, but you haven't distributed the benefits and the fruits of that profit across the club. I really and at the same time you're increasing the ticket prices. I really don't think the person who's doing the laundry at Spurs is also getting a wage hike at the same time as their profits are going up. So it's not like these concessions are being distributed amongst the workforce that works for Tottenham Hotspur. So it's you can't even so inflation cannot, and recovering costs cannot be the excuse in this situation, in my opinion.
It's one of those things, Ash, isn't it? They've said they've froze the season ticket prices for 4 years, but what they actually did was season ticket prices were going up by 1.5% a year. They were going up incrementally. But what they've done in 1 year is they've given us the full whack of free season ticket prices
in one go.
In one go.
Four. They've just said, right, we've hit you with 1.5% increase. Now we're going to hit you with the other 4 in one go. Now, if you're talking about, you can't. It's unfair to say, well, okay, we're making money now. People's wages are going up. Spurs may not make a profit every time.
Yeah.
The club may well not do this well in years to come. If they'd have come back and said, for the season ticket holders, there's a 2% increase, that's one thing. For the seniors, I agree with what Paddy said in his comments before. All the fans have got to come together. I don't think they will. I think the fan base is absolutely horrendous. I do. I genuinely think most of our fan base haven't got a clue. I don't think they can be bothered. I think they're just happy to sit back and just let the owners abuse the fans' brand loyalty. I want to see. I was with Brian Daigle and you, Ben, at the demonstrations. There weren't that many people that came. I thought last year was just dreadful. He's sold out one of our best ever, historically one of our best ever players, and not replaced him with a like for like or close to a like for like. There's just no interest, and there never has been any interest from the owners in footballing success. It's just about profit. So.
But Ian, right? Same with Ashley up at Newcastle, and those fans managed to unite and get him out.
You're talking about different. In Newcastle, they live, eat, and breathe football.
I know,
and they have a passion that Spurs fans don't have.
I kind of I know the show's coming to a close almost, but I kind of want to I have a message for the international fans. A lot of the international fans believe that this is not their problem, but the truth is that if you look at what is the product you paid for? It's built on the backs of the local fans cheering the team on, going to away games, all of these things, right? And if you think about it, why didn't you enjoy watching the games during COVID? If you were just concerned with the players on the pitch, you wouldn't have had a problem watching the games during COVID. The reason you had a problem is those local fans that make the game, they were not there at the stadium. So I'm sorry to all the international fans who believe it's not their problem. They really need to wake up and take a look at themselves.
When Sonny goes in the next 2 or 3 years, the drop off will be you'll see the money that
it'll be vertical downfall. It'll be vertical. It won't go down slightly. It will go like that.
Well, you get 2,000 to 3,000 at every home match. I've been told because I deal with a milling career, and the guy is a massive Spurs fan. He was saying to me that 70% of all football fans in Korea support Spurs.
Yeah,
and that's massive. 70%.
Buy Hwan Hee-chan. Buy Hwan Hee-chan.
Yeah, they probably will.
I want Hwan Hee-chan anyway because I bloody love the geezer. But on this subject, we've been saying this for years. We've been saying it in our protest group for years. This is what the club's going to do. I know people are saying, "Oh, but there's a 200,000 waiting list for Tottenham." Why should
there isn't. There's not been. There isn't. People were getting calls that were 30,000, 40,000 down on the list for season tickets last summer, I was being told.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
It's just one of those things. Tottenham, it's my favourite comment. I absolutely love Tottenham Hotspur, but Tottenham Hotspur hates me. They hate loyal fans like me.
They do. They do. They have no interest. They have no interest in fans, in people.
What do I just look at my I go to the club in the car. I don't go to the club shop. I don't buy from the shop. I don't buy from the stadium. I go to the Antwerp Arms if I'm getting a drink. I don't get food inside the stadium. They hate me. They want to bring in people that go to the game, go to the club shop, buy food in the stadium, buy beer in the stadium, go here, go there. They do everything. They go on the skywalk and spend whatever the £750,000. They hate us. And it's time we started looking at this and saying loyal fans are getting exploited. And it's going to happen as well with away games. Eventually with away games, people that go home and away will no longer be, because we won't go. They're going to start getting premium ticket packages. And away fans, the Tottenham are one of the best away supporters in the country. They will be priced out eventually because the club do not care about us. But on that note, Ash, where can we find you next?
So actually, I'll be doing a show today with Ellie, which I think is 11 a.m. UK, on Talking Ball. So that'll be fun. It'll be the ladies' takeover.
Absolutely. Ian, oh God. Ian, next time don't have the vacuum going.
There's gardeners next door. What can I do?
Ian, where can
they're throwing the leaves up in the house next door. I'll tell them next time. I'll knock on the neighbour's door and say, look, between 9 and 10 on a Friday.
Next door? It's not even your house.
No, next door.
That's unbelievable.
Next door.
Hilarious.
Ian, where can we next find you, buddy?
On here, Ian, at Lubo_61 on Twitter, X, on Spaces from the end of next week probably, and hopefully on here again very soon.
Brilliant. And Amir, where can we find you next, buddy?
People can find me on here, when I can join, and also over with the lads on We Are Tottenham TV. I'll be doing a few watch-alongs next month when I'm back in London. So try and tune in for those as well. It'd be great.
And if you can hear me over the vacuuming, it's another reminder. Please subscribe to the Coffee Company Tottenham on Tour second channel. The link is right here. Please subscribe. Get the Coffee Company closer to 700 subscribers. It really helps us out a lot. Thank you all so much for watching today's show. Have a brilliant rest of the day. And as always, if you smell what the cough is brewing and the vacuum stops as we end the bloody show.
There you go. They must have heard it.
Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of the day. Ciao for now.
Go on, you.